What's up? What's up? What's going on? N.W.A. What's up, everyone? This is your boy, Niner Sickness, accompanied with my brother from another mother that needs no introduction. The man, the myth, the legend. Florida Mike, what's up?
What is going on, my brother? How you doing?
Doing great, bro. It's Monday night. We're going to talk some 49er football, bro. We're going to have some
Monday
fun.
Night Raw.
Hey, what's up, Dina? Welcome, welcome. What's up, Tom? Yeah, bro. Let's have some fun, man. Let's interact with our fans here and our viewers, and let's make it a great 1 hour show, brother. You ready?
Beto, I must say I love your hat, bro.
Oh, thank you.
Looks very nice. What's the SF stand for?
San Francisco, baby.
Oh, I
That's
see. I
what
thought it was gonna be super fan because that's what you are, my brother. Super
ah,
fan.
I like that. I didn't think about that. Hey, that's good to know. Yeah, exactly, huh? What's up,
Yes,
Jaime
sir.
Luna? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for following me. This is Jaime Luna. Follows me on my other show. Welcome to this show, brother. I let
Hey,
people know
Hyman
what.
Luna, man. RIP to DMX. Nice pick, man. That's respect.
Yeah, I invite people from my other show to come on here, brother. So
Heck yeah.
they can be part of the NWS. We grow the NWA, man. We're gonna be
Hey, there
talking.
goes
Go ahead.
Dina. No, I was saying, I'm sorry, I got excited. I see Dina. She said, "Hey, Beto, hey, Florida Mike, what's up, Dina? That's my girl. What's up, Dina? I know my brother Tom's in here. What's up, Tom?
Tom's in the house.
Tom is in the house. I
Tom.
love Tom. To me and Tom, I think me and Tom are brothers, bro. I really do because he speaks my language all the time. He hates teams like I hate teams. I love Tom.
Yeah, all our viewers, man. All our viewers are amazing. I said this on my other show, Mike, and I'll say it here. Fans, they don't have to watch our show. They have their own private lives. They're taking time out of their busy schedule to tune into our show. The least we
Hmm.
can do is show them love and give them some content for them to have and learn from us, brother. That's what we owe them, since they're watching us and on their own time, bro. And that's for that. I appreciate each and every one tuning in. You guys are amazing.
Well said. I agree. I mean, a lot of here's the funny thing, man. There are people out there that'll say, "Man, football season slow this time of the year," or "We don't have a lot to discuss." That's so inaccurate. There's plenty to discuss. First of
Yep.
all, there are two teams ahead of us, and although we're Niner fans, we really got one team ahead of us because we already know what Jacksonville is going to do for the most part. So whatever the Jets do, we don't talk enough about what the Jets are going to do or what we think they're going to do because whatever they don't do is what we will do. And that is a whole nother topic in itself. And the funny thing is, I've always told people, man, never rule out assuming that the Jets are going to pick a quarterback. Who knows? They might trade down, do something we don't even imagine. You just don't know. What if someone puts a package together like the Dolphins did for San Francisco, and then the Jets trade that? That can change the entire dynamic of everything. You just don't know what's going to happen until draft day. So I am super excited because every week it's getting closer to the draft. And it's like a movie you've been waiting to see for a while. You've seen the previews and you're just waiting on it to come out. So this is an exciting time of the year because we're building our future. We're getting ready to make a franchise decision for our future. You know what I mean? Hey,
Absolutely.
real quick, I want to give a huge shout out to the Orlando, Florida Niner chapter Empire down here in my state, my city, my state, Sunshine State. Big shout out to the UK Niner chapter. So for those of you that don't know, the United Kingdom, that's right, Great Britain, all the way over there in London, in England, they invited me to come on their show and represent the Niners from Florida, perspective, or the USA side over here, I should say. So I'm excited about that opportunity. Don't know when that's going to happen, but I'll keep it posted. But I'll make sure I let them know I'm from Florida, Mike from the N.W.A. So when one of us is over there, all of us is over there. So I'm gonna hold it down over there in the UK, man. Spread that N.W.A.'s flavor in the UK, representing us. So I'm excited, and big shout out to all the California Niner fans.
Yeah, I've been talking to a few of them. They invited me to they have a radio show. They invited me. I haven't had a chance to get on there, but That's awesome. They
Mhm.
invited you. Yeah, they're great guys, man. They love the 49ers. I follow pretty much all of them on Facebook. They all follow me on there, and they're fired up, man. These guys. Listen, the 49ers, we're all over the world, man. Fan base is everywhere. We represent the red and gold everywhere. There's not one part of this world that doesn't get represented by the 49ers, man. Best fan base in the world. I don't care about no other fan base in all 31 teams. San Francisco 49ers is the reason why we are called the faithful, because we are definitely faithful to our team no matter what. Listen, if they draft Mac Jones, a lot of us are not going to like it. We're not going to be happy, but we're going to stay faithful. We're going to support Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch. Why? Because I don't know about you, but I don't follow players. I follow the emblem, the SF. That's who I follow. That's who I represent. So may I, even if I don't like decisions being made, I gotta trust that Kyle Shanahan knows more than I do when it comes to quarterbacks, and he's gonna make the right decision whether we agree with it or not. He's gonna make the right decision based on what he thinks he can have to win Super Bowls going forward. So I'm hoping it's not Mac Jones. I'm really impressed by Justin Fields or Trey Lance. But at the end of the day, they're the ones that are evaluating these quarterbacks much deeper than we are. So we're going to have to support whether we like it or not, no matter who gets picked. Because I guarantee no matter if Justin Fields gets picked or Mac Jones, there are going to be fans that are happy and there are going to be fans that are upset. But at the end of the day, if you're a 49er fan, you support it all, no matter what.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's with every draft pick. You know, people are going to always say, man, I want this person, I want this guy. But I think in this particular draft, the quarterback, if it is, if for some strange reason, which I highly doubt it, guys, I'm not worried about no damn media. I'm mark my words. Florida Mike is 99.9% confident that we will not take Mac Jones. 99.9. And the only reason
Wow.
that 0.1% is there is because there's always a chance, and I give it a very small chance. We will not take Mac Jones. I am highly confident we will not. I'm not even worried about it. So, um, anyway, I want to. Big shout out to the Germany, not an empire. You know, got to represent the home team, Deutschland. Ich liebe Deutschland. So I want to talk about this draft, and I want to ask the fans, because we on this show we love to get our fans involved. We're not going to talk a whole straight hour and ignore our fans. Damn it! So the fans, when you're typing in and you're keyboarding in, make sure you come, because we're going to hit you upside the head with some questions every few here and there, the segments of the show. So make sure you're paying attention. You know what I mean? So from the fans, let's jump into it in this draft. And bro, Beto, you can chime in as well, of course. Do you guys think that we need to draft based on what is the priority? You know, in the average draft. I mean, obviously this year it's a needed quarterback, right? But on average, do you draft a quarterback based on the type of division you play in, or based on the type of team you want to center it around? And I ask that because sometimes people are like, well, we need to draft a mobile quarterback because we got a lot of mobile quarterbacks in our division. But then guess what? You might go in a conference play and you might have defenses that struggle with, I don't know, pocket passes because they don't see them a lot as much, in our division, for example. So, what do you think will be the best type of quarterback for our system? And if you say a mobile quarterback, because here's the thing, the reason I'm asking this, guys, I don't think Kyle Shanahan has a system. I think Kyle Shanahan has an adjustable system. I think he's capable of any quarterback. The reason why we're worried about Mac Jones is because he has a history of working and praising pocket passers and wanting Kirk Cousins. But the reality is he's only majority of his quarterbacks have been pocket passers. He's had RG3 as his mobile guy, but majority of his guys have been pockets, so he can only go off of what he's worked with. But the reality is he's never chosen a quarterback for himself. So technically, we can't say, I even myself, I admit I felt like he likes pocket passers, but that's only because he's worked with pocket passers. But in fairness, this draft will really show what he desires, what he really wants. So let's see. Let's give him a chance. He might surprise us all, and he might take somebody like Trey Lance while we're talking about Fields, possibly Wilson or Mac Jones. He might go to other route, take Trey Lance. We don't know. So want to get you guys' thought on that. Do you think that we need to draft based on our biggest need or based on what makes us successful in the division? Because there's always that conflict of you got to win a division to get to the playoffs and possibly Super Bowl. But yet, what if you draft the best player available and it's not your biggest division, counter, if you will, to benefit you? Just want to see what you guys think about that.
Yeah, let's give the viewers an opportunity to respond to that first, and then I'll chime in to your points. But I want to see what the viewers have to say. And that's a very good point there, or good question, actually. Are quarterbacks nowadays drafted based on your division or the trend or who you're definitely facing out there? Because one thing, as we're waiting for the fans to chime in, one of the things that I keep hearing is, and I'm kind of getting tired of it, is how Mac Jones fits what Kyle Shanahan does. It's like, if that's the case, Trey Lance runs a lot of similarities to what the Niners run. A lot of those RPOs, everything that they run there. They're a run-heavy team first. They do the run to play action. This is what the Niners do. So if that's the case, Trey Lance does what the Niners want. So that whole thing about, listen, guys, this whole Mac Jones about how he's like Matt Ryan and he's like Matt Schaub and what's the other guy? Kirk Cousins. Listen, these are all quarterbacks that Kyle Shanahan did not pick, an exception from Kirk Cousins in the third round. But when RG3, even though RG3 was not their pick, the Shanahans, it was Daniel Snyder. But what was the Shanahans able to do with a running game and a mobility quarterback like RG3? They made him a rookie of the year. They made the playoffs. And I got to believe if he didn't get hurt against the Seahawks in that first playoff game, they probably would have went further, in my belief. So this whole narrative that he needs a pocket passer, it's ridiculous, man. It's insane. He can make any quarterback work. Look what he did with Mullins. Look what he did with CJ. Look what he did with Jimmy. Kyle Shanahan can make any quarterback look good. But I don't think Kyle, other than RG3, has really had a quarterback with dual threats, a quarterback beyond the X's and O's, a quarterback that can extend plays with his legs when coverages break and allow his receivers, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, to get separation from those D-backs and extend the play. Justin Fields in Kyle Shanahan's system can thrive. Any of these quarterbacks can thrive. And Kyle says, so when I keep hearing the narrative about Mac Jones because he stop it. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about all these talking heads. Stop it with the Mac Jones. But have you noticed, Mike, in case you haven't paid attention, Adam Schefter, Lan Rappaport, and Peter King, 2 weeks ago, the Niners are taking Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a quarterback. We know our sources, people that we have, blah, 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 we are telling us that they're taking Mac Jones. You know what they're saying now, Mike? Well, I still think they're taking Mac Jones. But there may be a possibility they might be looking at the other two quarterbacks. We don't know. Of course you don't know. The Niners don't leak. When was the last time the Niners leaked something? Since John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan took over, they never. Did you know about Mike McGlinchey getting drafted? And we're trading Trent Brown. I didn't know that. Did you know about about when we traded from the 12th spot to the 3rd spot? I found out right after they did it. I didn't hear about that. So all these trades and all these things that happen, these talking heads don't know. They don't know. They're just presuming. They're just speculating, and they're just talking because they want viewers to view their content. And to be honest with you, Mike, if they talk about Justin Fields, that is boring to them. But if they mention Mac Jones, they know they're gonna start controversy. They're gonna get fans riled up. They're gonna get Niner fans pissed off, and therefore fans are gonna watch because of this. And all they're trying to do is boost their ratings. So they don't know anything. Now they're trying to change their word to maybe it might be Mac Jones, but we don't know. But 2 weeks ago, they were 99.9. It was Mac Jones. That is crazy, Mike. These guys, they don't know, bro. Last year, was it last year? No, the year before. All the talking heads. I don't know if you remember, Mike. Quinn Williams. They're high on Quinn Williams. They're high on Quinn. They took Quinn Williams to IHOP to go eat. They're talking to his family. They're not going to take Bosa. Who did they take, Mike? They took Bosa, didn't they? So just because the talking heads say one thing, the Niners don't care. Can you imagine being John Lynch or Kyle Shanahan, Mike, and they're sitting there laughing their butt off when they hear all this nonsense about what they're going to do? They're probably sitting there like, these talking heads are idiots. So it's anyway. I wanted to say that while people were chiming in regarding your question. Tom says Cap was a great mobile quarterback, but wasn't good in the pocket. Well, Cap was, in my opinion, Mike, if you have yours, Cap was a run first, pass second type of quarterback. He would make quick reads, but he'll anticipate the run. Justin Fields and Trey Lance, especially Trey Lance, they try to pass first and run last. And that's what I like. That's the difference between Cap and them. What's your thoughts on that, Mike?
Well, I think it all depends on this type of system you're referring to with Kaepernick, because there was a season where they literally limit his mobility and made him a pocket passer. I forgot which coordinator that was, but he didn't run as much one of those years. And then most of his career, especially when he had success, he ran the ball a lot more, and he was able to pass on some situations that Roman, gave him. But, at the end of the day, like I said, Kaepernick played with different coordinators, and Kaepernick lost, in fairness, his roster team was pretty much retired. There was a lot of departure. So he didn't have an ideal situation, and he got injured. So it just wasn't to his advantage in that situation to develop and get some of the tools. A question I ask people, do you think Colin Kaepernick would have been better under Kyle Shanahan? I think so. I mean, he has a proven track record of taking people and improving them. How much better? I don't know. But, I think he would have been better overall. But at the end of the day, we'll never know. But I wanted to I see Dina. Dina says she's not thinking about the division. She's thinking of our need or needs for a mobile quarterback with a pocket passer eyes. That's a great point. And that's going back referring to the question of do we draft based upon our division and what it takes to win that, or do we draft based upon the needs of the team? Because sometimes they don't intertwine. The needs of the team might be we need a cornerback, but we also need a quarterback too, trading up and giving all that capital. But our division, we might need to go with that trend and have the division of mobility outside of Stafford. Everybody else will have a mobile quarterback if we drafted Trey Lance or somebody. So, I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm not worried about this Mac Jones rhetoric only because for the simple fact is this. A lot of these talking heads, I don't listen to them. You know that. But a lot of these talking heads they'll tell you they have not watched these quarterbacks. Like, how many of them knew about Zach Wilson prior to the end of the conclusion of college football? Like, have they really watched Zach Wilson every game? A lot of people have not heard of Zach Wilson or might not know much about him, especially if you're not into college like that. You'll hear about Trevor Lawrence. You don't always hear about Zach Wilson. So unless you're a college fan, it's not going to be a name that you watch. And even if you're aware of who he is, do you really watch every BYU game? Did you watch every North Dakota State game for Trey Lance? I doubt it. So if you're not watching them and these talking heads aren't watching them, why do they propel every year? They get a quarterback out of nowhere, like Mitch Trubisky, prime example, and catapult him all the way up and talk him up and say that he's going to be the next thing. And how that go? Well, about Patrick Mahomes, he didn't get that type of talk. Deshaun Watson, who won the damn championship, who beat a lot of NFL first rounder on defense, didn't get that type of hype. Mitch Trubisky got hyped up after the conclusion of football. You heard about Deshaun Watson all the way up to the championship game, and then right when draft season comes, Mitch Trubisky is the guy. And they do this every single year. They're hoping that they can get some guy to be this breakout and be this hope, and they're not talking about the guys you know who has it. So my question to the fans are watching the show, do you think this is the draft that the quarterback class has a solidified game changer for the San Francisco 49ers at pick 3? Is it worth? We know we need a quarterback, but was this the draft to take that gamble when you have Garoppolo, although he is injury prone, you still have him currently, and you probably could have got a decent backup and wait till a better class next year. That's what some people say. I want to know from our fans, what do you think? Is this a draft to get this franchise quarterback that we're hoping? You know, I tell people all the time, I don't think there is a such thing as a damn class that's going to have that guy because who knows what next year is going to bring? We don't know what next year is going to bring this early. You know what I mean? We don't know what this year is going to bring. We haven't seen these guys play yet. So every year is a quarterback that's out there worthy of picking high. You just have to get the right guy. Simple as that.
I had to step away for a minute. GP says no disrespect. No disrespect to Michael McCorkle Jones, but that's his middle name, McCorkle. But I am sure the West would love it if we drafted him. That's true. They would love if we draft him over Justin Fields or Trey Lance.
Valid point. Well, absolutely. I mean, you know, we got to look at what we're going up against and what we're also having to defend. Half of our division right now is mobile quarterbacks. And you got Matthew Stafford as a pocket guy who's capable of being very effective as well as a pocket guy, right? So we're having to adjust to the mobility of Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray at least 2 games a year, from each team. Then we got to turn around and get prepared for Stafford, who can do pretty well from the pocket. Stafford's a pretty good damn quarterback,
Oh, yeah.
And now who's our guy? And is our guy capable of not being the 4th best quarterback in the division? That has yet to be seen. So I am confident based on Kyle Shanahan's own words that he says. Before I heard his own words, I wasn't feeling that confident in that theory. I was like, damn, he's probably going to love a pocket guy no matter what, and not even open himself up to a mobility guy. And if he gets a pocket guy that he likes, I'm fine with that. But don't let it be because you're not looking at mobility. Mm-hmm. But once he actually spoke from his own mouth and said, I'm getting a guy that can improvise, that changed the entire narrative. So are you going to listen to Kyle Shanahan, who if you watch Kyle Shanahan closely, he doesn't blow. You can tell when he blows a little smoke screen and when he's a little serious. He never tells you who he's going to get. But if he says, I want a guy that can improvise, improvise, however you interpret, to me, the context he used it in, it sounds like he wants a guy who can extend plays, which means he wants a guy that can run out of the pocket when necessary, because that's what improvise does, is create stuff. They take charge. So, yeah, man, But, yeah, I see the fans chiming in, man. I see we got something about Texas A&M's quarterback.
Kelly Mond.
Yeah, I don't know enough about him, and I don't know enough about any of these guys, man. I don't watch these guys like that every game and whatnot. But I'm aware that he had a good college season. I'm aware that his team did exceptionally well, but I don't. The little that I do know of him, I'm not really sold on him. Not been a top 5 quarterback in the draft in the first round, that high where we're at. I mean, maybe he's a second round guy or something. But as far as these top 5 that they're promoting, I wouldn't. I don't know if that Kelly Mond in the comments is asking or what they're saying. I just see the name. But I tell you this, I certainly hope it's not implying that we're in a position to draft him. We certainly don't need to move to number 3 to get him. That's a fact. He's available damn near way after 12, more than likely. Ain't nobody taking him in the top 12. So you can cancel that if that was a concern. But if you're looking at him as far as like maybe a second round dude, and we shocked the world and went some direction in the first round, maybe. But I highly doubt we do that. I highly believe that we're going to get a quarterback, and Kyle Shanahan knows who it is. So, but
I agree.
yeah,
Yeah, these so-called quarterback things they're doing on Wednesday and next Monday. Kyle Shanahan knows who he wants. They're not going to be shocked when they go to these pro days come Wednesday or Monday. But what they are going to be able to do is they're going to be able to talk to them, see them in person, kind of get a feel. And what I do like is what I heard, Mike, is that normally in the pro days, they have a schedule they run. They throw a certain way based on who's directing the pro day, right? But I heard that the Niners are going to be able to implement a lot of the things they run and have Justin Fields and Trey Lance make throws and things they normally do with the Niners to kind of get a better idea of these prospects. But I really believe Kyle Shanahan knows who he wants. I don't think you trade 3 first rounds and a third to move up from 12 to 3 and you're sitting there wondering, which quarterback should I take? I don't know. They have to know who they want. We may not agree with who
of
they take,
course.
but they'll know. They know who they want. And I'm hoping that even if they want Mac Jones, I'm hoping that Trey Lance or Justin Fields are able to show enough on these pro days to kind of sweep them over. But at the end of the day, man, I don't know who they're going to take. I got to just believe that whoever they take, they're going to live or die with this pick. They're either going to win games and be called geniuses, or they're going to lose games and get fired. One of those two things will guarantee to happen, depending who they take.
Well, what's funny to me is they were talking about moving up well before this Mac Jones hype came about. Mac Jones hype just started like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
They was talking about moving up with the Falcons months ago. That Kyle Shanahan said that. They was looking for a team months ago to trade up with. And the Dolphins finally took the bait. So if they were really so sold on this kid, why the hell were they talking about trading up back then
Mm-hmm.
when Mac Jones' train was not even mentioned?
Yep.
Like people gotta think, man. Like, I don't know, man, but again, people gonna watch Talking Heads. They go Talking Heads ain't the GMs, man. They don't know a damn thing. You know, they these guys do not watch any more football than you and I. They're in a position just to have a voice. You know what I'm saying? They don't watch college football in depth like that. Some of y'all out there know more about BYU quarterback than these guys. Some of y'all knew that there's a quarterback out there like, hey, this guy's a real deal. I think he's gonna be solid. They don't know. They wait till they. Let me ask y'all this: does a pro day really mean anything?
I don't think so.
How the hell does a guy play for a whole season, but one pro day can just make you? What happens if you have a bad pro day? To me, it's equivalent to the combine. Is a combine really reflective of how you are as a football player? Does a pro day show the intelligence you have to read defenses? No. It
Live
shows
action.
your ability at an uncanny rate, and people get so excited about a throw somebody made. Great for
Yep.
you. What happens when you got a defense coming at you, or you got to read, you got to adjust and make audibles, or you playing in an environment that you're on the road? You know what I mean? Pro days don't measure that stuff, bro. That's
Correct.
when your intangibles come out. And when you have intangibles that can't be coached, that just makes plays, that's when you know what type of player you have. So I don't see the purpose of a pro day. I mean, to me, it's just
I
like the
agree.
damn combine. I don't know, but what do you fans think? Do you think a pro day? So many people are getting hyped about a pro day. They're like, "Oh man, this dude had a bad throw, or he had a great throw. Man, we got to draft him." We're talking about a pro day, bro.
Yeah, pro days. I mean, I don't know what it is to the scouts and to the GMs, but to myself and as we wait for the fans to chime in, a pro day for me is just to look at the quarterback, get to know them in person, see his abilities live, basically translate everything they saw on film and kind of get a glimpse of it in pro day. But pro day is not a meter that's going to sway them one way or the other. What happens if the quarterback has a bad year but a great pro day, or a great year and and a good pro day? So it's just like, for example, Trey Lance. He calls his own audibles, which I like. I keep hearing the narrative that Trey Lance hasn't really played any big teams, which he hasn't. No big defenses, not like Justin Fields with Ohio State. But Trey Lance still, what he's capable to do, you guys got to remember, this kid was 19 years old when he went undefeated in that season. And then I hear too, Mike, well, Trey Lance has only played 17 games. We haven't seen enough. Well, guess what? You know how many games Mac Jones has played? 17. Same amount of games than Trey Lance. The only one that has played more from the three available to us is 24 games for Justin Fields, based to 17 of the other two. I understand that Alabama, plays defenses, but listen, Mike, Mac Jones has two receivers that are going to go in the top first round for sure. The two receivers last year went in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
You got a running back that's probably going to go in the first round. He's a product of that offense. Now, I'm not saying that Mac Jones is terrible. I'm not saying that it's all about his receivers. He makes some really good throws. But those are top-notch receivers. What happens if you put him in an ordinary system when you don't have those number one receivers? What is he going to be able to do when the coverage breaks down? Is he going to be able to extend plays with his legs? Or is he going to sit there? How many times did you get tired of seeing Jimmy get sacked? I know I have. But Russell Wilson, right when we feel like we have him in our grasp, the dude is like Houdini, escapes, and the receiver opens up, and the next thing you know, he throws a 40-yarder for a first down. I'm tired of seeing that with Russell Wilson. I want to see that for our offense. And I think we can do that with Trey Lance and Justin Fields. Not so much with Mac Jones. And again, I don't think you give up three number ones and a third for a quarterback like Mac Jones. Prior to moving up from 12 to 3, Mike, you know that Mac Jones was never mentioned at all in the top 10?
Yeah,
At
that's
all.
what I was saying.
At all.
It's all. Let me ask you this: the smoke screen, man. Let me ask you guys this: if the concern with Trey Lance is the amount of games in the competition, okay, I don't know the amount of games, but Jimmy Garoppolo, what college he went to? Eastern Illinois.
Yes.
Is that a big college?
Nope.
Are they playing big competition?
Nope.
Okay, he took us to a Super Bowl.
Yep.
So, Carson Wentz, who went to the same school as Trey Lance, not that far removed from Trey Lance as far as system, right? He went to, granted, his backup quarterback played and filled in the later part of the year, but Carson Wentz was on fire before he got hurt, and he was a huge significant reason why they won the Super Bowl that year. Did Carson Wentz, he went to the same school, did he have that problem?
Nope. Before he
So,
got hurt, he was playing good.
right. Is this really about the school or the lack of competition perception? Or is this just about strictly marketing a quarterback that fits the narrative that these talking heads want
Yep.
to cause their controversy and ratings to go up?
Yep.
If you talk about Trey Lance, I tell you what, they're probably going to talk about Trey Lance this week or closer to the draft because they got to switch it up. They've been riding Mac Jones so heavy. They know fans are starting to say, okay, I don't know. They're not as worried about it as much. Maybe before the week of the draft, they're going to switch it up to Trey Lance. They're going to take turns. They probably got a wheel like the price is right, and they just spin that bad boy. And whoever the arrow lands on, that's their agenda for the week. So, but you know, anybody can say whatever they want to say, man. Guys who have come out of these colleges that are big time, they played a lot of competition. It's funny because Ohio State quarterbacks are the same ones that have a bad rep of not performing in the NFL, but yet these same people who down Ohio State quarterbacks to turn around and talk about Trey Lance ain't played competition. Well, Ohio State quarterbacks that got drafted played competition, but you want to call them bust, but they're playing at the highest level. These USC quarterbacks played at the highest level, and a lot of them were busts.
Look at Sam Darnold.
How come you can't give an opportunity to a kid that's not at a big time college who has yet to prove himself? And the one kid that comes out before him, Carson Wentz, he has a pretty good career overall.
And watch him take off. I think he's going to be special now that he has a good offensive line with the Colts protecting him. He's going to have a great year. I like Carson Wentz, and personally, I think Trey Lance has more to offer. Like I said, he's 20 years old now. He was 19 when he started that season. He threw 28 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, 0 interceptions. That is huge. What does that tell you when he don't throw interceptions? The kid studies and studies the defenses. He puts his time in the film room, and he's watching defenses of opposing teams every week, and he learns where to throw the ball and where not to throw the ball, who's going to jump and who's not going to jump. This kid is smart between the years. So is Justin Fields. Listen, everybody knows I want Trey Lance, but if the Niners take Justin Fields, I'm okay with that as well. I think they're really similar. Some people may have Fields over Lance, but I just love the ceiling, and the idea that we can draft Lance, sit him for a year under Jimmy G, to me is the best option. Instead of kind of like the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes scenario, where you don't gotta burst him into the scenes and you don't gotta sit there and throw him right away. Like, listen, Trevor Lawrence he's gonna go and face bullets right off the bat. Zach Wilson's going to go and face bullets right off the bat. Whoever gets drafted for the 49ers, they have the privilege to sit and learn the offense as Jimmy G. Long as he stays healthy, we know he can take us to the Super Bowl. We can win with Jimmy. Let's say 6 games, 7 games we're in. God forbid he gets injured. Well, now we don't have to worry about bringing in Nick Mullins. We'll have either Justin Fields or Trey Lance sitting on deck, ready to come in. Already have learned so much sitting there. So I like that they're making this quarterback position the strong point. Kyle Shanahan said it was our weakest point last year. He doesn't want to go another year with making that a weak spot. He wants to make our quarterback position strong. And I like the direction that he's going.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you have to because, again, quarterback is the most valued position on the field. And obviously, we had a top 10 defense without Nick Bosa, right? Without him. So where's the next biggest priority that a lot of people are going to value? Quarterback. And that just goes to show you it's the most important priority because everybody's needing a quarterback to sustain to the playoffs. So
yes, sir.
That being said, we had to do the move up and address that need.
Yes,
so I'm happy for it.
Real quick, as we come closer, we're at about 40 minutes in. Let's shift gears a little bit, Mike, if you don't mind. And let's talk about who should we draft at number 43, which is our second pick of
Oh
this
wow.
2021.
Oh
That's what
wow.
there's a couple players that I like, and preferably corner. And if you don't mind, I'll start with Asante Samuel Jr.
Out of Florida State.
Florida kid. Yes, you know this kid. He's a slot corner. They can play in the outside while Williams plays in the inside. Williams either moves on to another team, gets more money. We can slide him in that slot corner position. I like this kid. But who do you think the Niners, or what position you think the Niners should draft with a 43rd overall pick, Mike?
Well, player wise, it's hard to say. Um, I would say position wise, I go secondary. The reason why I would go secondary is because it's obvious we have a big need there, and I don't trust the injury prone guys that are back there to Tart. He's back with us, right? He's
Yes,
been injury prone forever. Ferret gets injury prone history. So I want to make sure that we have healthy guys because when one of those guys go down, hey man, that's it. This it's going to be open season for DK Metcalf and the Cardinals receivers. I mean, who wants to experience that? So I think we'll go secondary to shore up some things. Now, I'm a Florida State fan, so Samuels, I think he's gotten better, but I don't know, man. I still have question marks about this kid. I
okay,
watched him because as an FSU fan, I watched every Florida State game, and yes, he did read the ball well to get interceptions. He's defended it well. He stays with his receivers. But I've also seen him get beat by bigger physical receivers, and they just had it way with him. But then again, when you're in the NFL, you learn different techniques. You learn how to counter stuff, and it's a different business. So whatever you did in college doesn't always translate to the NFL. That's why we have some busts, and that's why we have some guys who come out there and kill it.
correct.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I go secondary.
I would love I would love to go secondary with our second pick. I preferably would love to trade down from 43, accumulate a couple extra picks, and then use those picks to be able to move up in the third round since we're picking kind of low. But I would love to go secondary, Mike. And then with our third pick, I would love to go pass rusher. I understand that we've been picking pass rushers in the first round, but you can never have enough good pass rushers. So I would go quarterback, secondary, pass rusher, and then fourth, either a lineman, a tackle, center that can play guard, or tackle that can play guard with the fourth pick. And then once we get into the fifth round with our three picks, then you can be looking at maybe running back, tight end, or more secondary help.
To me, man, the draft is tricky because you got so many holes every year to fill. The question is, what holes do you prioritize the most? I know you were saying tight end later on, like fifth round, kind of like what we did with Kittle. Um, I feel tight end might be need to push up a little higher. Like when you would draft a defensive end, I would draft a tight end.
Hmm. Okay.
That's just me. I would go secondary, second round. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I'm valuing the position. When it comes to the quality of the player, I have no clue who's on the board, obviously. So don't take my critique based on my draft pick because, again, I'm not naming that player by name. I don't know who's available, but I am going to tell you a position. And I feel I would take something on the offensive side of the ball after we go secondary, second round. It would either be a tight end or another guard or something on the line. I would want to build that depth up on the line because I already know if one of those starting linemen that we have a great lineman go down for a little period, we're going to struggle at that guard. So I would say tight end or guard. Me, I would prefer a tight end and with my third pick.
Interesting. With the third pick.
With the third, yes.
Interesting. And then what would you do? Take an edge rusher with the fourth?
Um, I was high on edge rushers, but
Or would you go
uh,
offensive lineman still in the fourth?
I would probably go either. And like I said, I don't know the players that are available, but just based on position, if we can get
Correct.
the best player available in the fourth round, I would either go O line or secondary again. I would probably go secondary again.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like we need to shore up that secondary more because My concern with the secondary right now on our roster, a lot of these guys are 1 year contracts. They're not coming back. So why not build that depth now and get them that experience now so that next year comes, we at least had them season a little bit. You know they're going to get hurt. Chukowski Tar is not playing the whole season. Let me tell you that now.
Oh
Verrett
wow,
probably
okay.
won't play the whole season. You know, we've had injuries in the secondary to where we're going to need some young studs to get that exposure and experience to step up. So I feel the tight end at the third round will be the biggest crucial point that we can do if we found one that was, going to be game ready.
Okay. So let me see. Um, a couple of prospects that could be out there available for that pick at 102. That we'll be choosing if we, long as we don't move up or down, we don't trade our picks. We pick on 102, and that's going to be at the bottom of the third round. There's a couple of good prospects. There's the kid from Miami, Jordan Briven. He's pretty good, 6'4", 225. I like what he's done in with Miami with the Hurricanes. And then you have this other kid. I'm trying to find him. What is his name? Let me see if I can find him. Tight end. Okay, the kid from Georgia, Trey McKitty. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's
Yeah, I've heard of him.
6'5". He's also a good tight end. But it's interesting that you would go tight end. I know you and Nate are you guys love your tight ends.
I'm
And,
I'm 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 gonna be clear though. I don't like tight ends for the same reason Nate likes them.
no, I
I
didn't say
don't.
that, but I'm saying you guys both like tight ends.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm not saying you said it. I'm just saying I want to make sure I differentiate. I know why Nate likes tight ends,
Oh,
and
okay,
it makes sense. But I like a tight end because I feel like for me, it's because George Kittle's injury prone.
okay.
I feel like he's going to miss games.
Oh, he
Nate likes
is.
tight ends because tight ends are cheaper than wide receivers. They do more. They block, they catch, and they're more effective. And they are way cheaper to afford. You take the top of the top tight end, the cream of the crop with Kittle and Kelsey, and then you look at these wide receivers at the top of the cream of the crop and theirs. Who does more for their teams? Who are the best catching threats in the NFL? George Kittle, Travis Kelsey. These guys are tight ends. They do more for their team. Wide receivers, they're not they're asking for way more money and doing less. They don't block as much. They don't do stuff across the board to help the offense move the football. So I would want a tight end only because George Kittle gets hurt. Nate likes tight ends from what we talked about because of those reasons I just named, and he feels like they're more effective, which he has a point with that.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. I mean, you can never go wrong. Look at Mr. Belichick over there in New England, taking those two top tight ends from free agency, trying to replicate what he had with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez at one time. So it'll be interesting. I like Ross Drawley. I know a lot of people are not really high on him. I like him as a pass catcher. I hope we bring. I haven't heard anything, but I hope we bring Jordan Reed back for another year. I would love to see Jordan Reed play a whole year with George Kittle. But you're right. The type of tight end, the type of player, not just tight end, but the type of player that George Kittle is. He wants to run through defenders. He doesn't want to go down. He wants to smack on you. The people's tight end. It's really hard for him to play a complete seven. Now that we're going 17 games, man, he's probably going to miss three or four of those games in the 17 span because of an injury. And you're right. If we have depth with tight ends, someone that can just kind of step in while he's down and not miss a beat would be nice. So I agree with you. I wouldn't take a tight end in the third though, but I like your logic.
Well, I feel like a tight end can help block, and that'll be like an extra guard out there who's able to catch. I mean, it's not going to replace it. Obviously, it's not going to do what exactly an old lineman would do. But if there's one that's available, that is good, like better than the others, and lives up to that billing, shoot, that'd be a two. Imagine what we'll have with two tight end threats with Ayuk and Debo at receiver. That to me, and that's more additional blocking. We could run more and we can kill on the pass because they don't know what's coming. And two tight ends opens up your offense a lot. And don't let you get an athletic quarterback like Trey Lance back there or Justin Fields. You know, um, I don't think Zach Wilson's available, but Zach Wilson's athletic too. So if he was available, same thing.
Yeah. So, okay, so we said quarterback, secondary, tight end, then secondary again. So then in the fifth round, that's when you start looking at your offensive linemen and defensive ends, right?
I mean, like I say, you try to cover as much as you can, but it's gonna be hard. We only got so many picks, so it's about what we prioritize. Me, I prioritize quarterback number one right now, and then after that, I'm okay with secondary or tight end for me. Um, I want to see secondary preferably, but I'm okay with a tight end because I know having two threats at tight end with Ayuk and Debo as receivers will make us a different team offensively. I feel like we'll put more points on the board damn near every time with another good tight end like that. Like if we could have the guy from Florida, Pitts and Kittle, what do you think would happen? How would defenses match up with something like that? Because I think Pitts is going to be a game changer at tight end.
Yeah, they're saying besides quarterback and possibly tackle, he's probably the best prospect coming out of college this year is Kyle Pitts. And that would be amazing having him. Somebody asked me on one of my shows that what if the Niners would take Pitts at 3? Now, I told him, listen, it's a nice fantasy to believe that Pitts and George Kittle will be a 1-2 punch. I would love to see that, but at the end of the day, you still have a injury-prone quarterback called Jimmy throwing the ball. So I rather make our quarterback position strong and draft a tight end that is not as equivalent as Pitts, but I just want to get that quarterback taken care of and not worrying about it. I mean, injuries happen all the time to all the players, but how many times has Russell Wilson get injured in his career?
Right.
So
Right.
this, you know, that's what I want. I want a quarterback that plays. I hate seeing a quarterback sitting. How many games did we see this year in 2020 when you see Jimmy G in the booth looking down? I got sick of that. I don't know about you, but there was I forgot what game it was. It could have been. Anyway, it was a game. It might have been against the Buffalo Bills. You look up in the booth, and you see Bosa, Kittle, Trent Williams. You see Jimmy. You see Juice. I mean, you saw half of the team up in the booth looking down. That was heartbreaking, bro. That was heartbreaking. I just hope this year in 2021, bro, we have I know we're going to have injuries. I know that's something that's going to happen, but I just hope it doesn't happen to our core players. Before we start winding down the show, they showed a video. I want to get your thoughts, Mike, and I want to get the viewers' thoughts. They showed a video, or let me rephrase it. Nick Bosa showed a video on his Instagram doing cone drills in April and moving very well. A lot of people were questioning, can he come back from the ACL injury? Is he going to play in 21? Is he going to be able to start? All these questions. Well, he showed videos of him doing cone drills that you possibly can't do if he still had issues with his knees. He looked very good. So with that, it's very promising that he'll be ready week 1, brother.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a guy that's going to bounce back, it'll be him. He's obviously going to be resilient and he's going to go out there and prove people are correct. But um, I mean, I know that we're talking about Bosa, DN, as expected. He was our guy on the edge. But man, I really wish D4 can come back.
Mm.
Have those two there. And I get why you want an edge rusher because if you get a good front seven, a real good front seven, Tampa Bay proved it. You don't have to have an elite secondary. You can get a good front seven and win.
Yep.
You can, and they dominated the Chiefs. Like they didn't even score more than they didn't even get double digits.
Nope. They only had 9 points, I believe.
Right. I mean, the streaker from the game got into the end zone before Patrick Mahomes. you know, he scored a touchdown. That was a
And
fact.
the security guards that were or the police tackled him better than a lot of the Kansas City Chiefs defenders.
They did, and I mean that's the thing. You got to really look at it and say, okay, what do we need? Like every draft, you're going to have holes. You're going to have holes. I mean, you can, you want to be honest about it. People that's freaking about us moving up for a quarterback, let Garoppolo get hurt.
Yeah.
You want to go back? You want to go back to where we are, 6-10 or whatever? You want to be that again?
No
So
way.
you adjust that quarterback. It should increase your chances to win. But if you get mad about second round, some people say, man, they want another running back because running back committee gets injured. They like we need a real. That's what I'm saying. What happens if you had a second round? You had a stud running back there that was like coming in making an impact. Do you take him because you got enough running backs? It's not a major need, or do you get the best of the best at that point and he can help your team be more effective? What do you do?
Yeah. Jaime Luna says the Clooney is still available. I think his price is a little bit too steep for my liking. Um, I know Ingram is still available from the Chargers, but his price is a little bit too pricey. I know that we just brought back Ronald Blair III. He cleared medical, and we brought him back as a rotational. Especially now that we don't know what's going to happen with Kevin Givens, with all that beating people up or something. Um, so we have to wait and see on him. But this kid that we brought from the Rams, he didn't get a chance to play a lot with the Rams because of the defensive line they have. But I like this kid. I watched his college. I watched what he did with the Rams. The guy has speed. He was drafted the same year that Solomon Thomas. But he got
Oh wow.
drafted. He got drafted in the third round, I believe, or fourth round, based on Solomon. And he had better numbers, way better numbers than Solomon Thomas, and played less than him. This kid is fast. He's special. He plays, especially since we play the what do you call it? How do you call it, Mike? The spread defensive, the 9 something 9, wide 9.
Mm-hmm.
Since we run the run 9 defense, he's perfect for that. And under
Right.
Kasarik, I think Kasarik will definitely coach him up. If this kid is what I think he will be, he is not the replacement for D Ford, but he's definitely going to be better than Kevin Hyder. So if he can just do his part, that'll be great. That way we can move Eric Armstead in the inside a couple of times. And then we got that kid from Carr from the Carolina Panthers. That guy's a big guy, man. He's going to stuff. I can imagine him and Cleanlaw stuffing the middle, bro. Ain't nobody going to run the ball on us. It's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, why 9? All right, Mike. Well, we hit our hour time on here. Everybody, once again, thank you for spending your hour with us. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate your time. We know your time is valuable to you. It is an honor to have you guys watch our show. We are indebted to you guys. We love you and respect each and every one of you. Thank you for watching and supporting the N.W.A. Mike, like always, it's always a pleasure talking to you, brother, having you on here. You have great scoop, great insight. Our boy Nate wasn't able to be here tonight. He is at work. Our boy Eric is dealing with some issues, so he might be away for a few weeks or so, but they're here in spirit. But is there anything you want to say before we call it a night, Mike? Before I close it off?
I'm an equal opportunity hater, so I don't like none of these teams outside of San Francisco.
And what about the Cowboys?
I think The Cowboys suck. That's as best as nice as I can say because I think there's some times where we have children on watching the show. So I think kids their first word should be the Cowboys sucks. Even before they say dad or mom. I think the Cowboys suck should be their first word. And to me, that would be an honor to raise a kid to say that.
I hear you,
So
man. I think when kids are born into a cowboy family, they shouldn't get slapped in the butt. They should be dropped in their head. Maybe they can learn something.
yeah.
That's terrible, man. I can't stand the Cowboys or their fans. I'm right
We're
with you,
the only
Tom.
team. We're the only team to stump on that star twice in their house and win after doing such. No other team has ever had the gall to go into their pathetic stadium and do that. Only San Francisco. And that right there is enough the reason to be a Niner fan. Ain't nothing finer than a 49er. Ain't that what they say?
Yes, and to bring clarity, early somebody brought up about the cheerleaders. Damn straight, the red and gold cheerleaders are way better looking than those
Listen,
silver and
Niner
blue.
Niner fans are way more attractive than any fan base, especially the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, come on, man. It's not even close. If you look at a nice 49er girl or a 49er guy, they look way better than the Dallas people. No, we're not even close.
Well, look at Mike, man. Look at Mike is married. Sorry, ladies, he's married. He's not available. But imagine if he was single. Who wouldn't want to date a guy like? Look at this guy's a Niner fan. Has a great job, great career, nice looking. He looks like the what's his name? I'm trying to think of that actor. Wesley Snipes
Oh man, stop it.
from
Stop it. I pay my taxes.
oh, that is
Sorry, Wesley. Sorry, that was a low blow. My bad. But
that
no,
is that is wrong, bro.
some people say I look like Mike Epps, man.
Nah, Mike, he's all right too. He's I like his comedy. Mike Epps.
Yeah, I had the same name as him. They say I look like Mike Epps.
I was gonna say you look like the black Bruce Willis.
The black Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh man, interesting.
All right, brother. Again, it's always fun. It's always enjoyable to have a show with you, bro. Much love and respect
likewise,
for you,
man.
Mike. Everyone, Dina, Tom, GP,
GP. That's bro.
everyone that has showed up tonight. If I young hitter, if I missed your name, please my apology. Jaime Luna, you guys are amazing. We appreciate you. At the end of the day, if it wasn't for you guys, all me and Mike had to do is talk to one another. So it's because of you why we do what we do, to bring content, to hopefully educate and bring you clarity about your 49ers. So go red and gold. We'll see you on our next show, which is Friday at 7:15 here on the N.W.A. channel. All right, Mike. It was a pleasure. Have a blessed evening, and we'll see you on Friday. Peace.